I'm so excited to share with you one of my favorite verses of the Shlach HaKadosh in Parshas Vayishlach. Yaakov Avinu was on his way to his fateful encounter with Esav Harasha. The pasuk says, "Vayivasar Yaakov levado." Yaakov was left alone. Vayiovek ish imo, and he fought with a man. The ish, we all know, is the Sar Shel Esav. It was the spiritual angel, the spiritual force behind the wickedness of Esav that had come to battle with Yaakov. What was it that caused Yaakov to be alone at that time? Rashi quotes the famous Gemara Maseches Chulin that he was taking care of the pachim ketanim, the small jars that belonged to Yaakov. He cared very much for his possessions. He wanted to take care of them. Pach, jar. What happened as a result of the battle with the Sar Shel Esav? Yaakov sustained an injury to his hip. The pasuk says, kaf yorecho, his side. It's interesting, kaf and pach are the same letters in reverse order. As a result of Yaakov taking care of the pach, the jar, pei chaf, he has sustained an injury to his kaf, kaf fei. What's the significance of this? The fact that the two words both have the same letters in reverse order. So the Shlosh says that both the letters chaf and the letter fei are letters that can be in an open position or a closed position, and they represent a part of the body that could be open or closed. When it comes to chaf, at the beginning or the middle of the word, it's in its closed position. At the end of the word, the chaf sofit, it's in its open position. Kaf or kaf, kaf represents the palm, the hand of a person. A person's hand could be open or closed. What's better? Of course, it's better to have an open hand. A person's always supposed to be generous and kind and giving everything they have to others. A closed hand, however, represents stinginess, a feeling and need that I just want to keep everything to myself. It's the same thing when it comes to pei and fei. Pei comes from peh, mouth. And the letter pei, at the beginning or middle of a word, it has its closed position. At the end of the word, in a fei sofit, it's in its open position. The closed and the open representing a closed mouth and an open mouth. When it comes to a mouth, what's better? It's much better to have a closed mouth. One of the greatest milos is shtika, knowing when to be quiet. We're supposed to be guarding our tongue. We're supposed to be very, very careful with our speech. A person whose mouth is open all the time, the tongue wagging, doesn't know when to stop talking. Unfortunately, between lashon hara rechilas, a lot of averos can come from a mouth that just keeps on wagging, the tongue keeps moving, and doesn't know when to quit. So when it comes to a hand, an open hand is a good thing, a closed hand is a bad thing. When it comes to the mouth, a closed mouth is a good thing, an open mouth is a bad thing. Yaakov Avinu, we're supposed to emulate his ways. Yaakov Avinu was always known to be a very generous person. He always gave to everyone around him, and he always knew how to guard what he said. He was very careful with his speech. So Yaakov Avinu was very into his pach, the pach representing a closed mouth, the pei, and the open hand, the chaf. However, Sar Shel Esav came to attack him. The Sar Shel Esav wanted to attack him with the very strengths Yaakov had and to reverse it. Sar Shel Esav, that evil malach, came to attack Yaakov, and he attacked him by attacking his kaf. The kaf, the closed hand, and the open mouth. That was the evil powers of the Sar Shel Esav. And this is now how we see how Yaakov's obsession, in a good way, with his pach led to Esav's angel attacking him with the kaf. So as a result of the pach, that led to the kaf. We're all supposed to keep this in mind, and we're supposed to follow this. The Shlach HaKadosh actually says that Yaakov Avinu survived that encounter with the Malach. However, he did leave him with a permanent injury. And we know that we're supposed to never eat from the gid hanasheh. It's supposed to be a lesson. We're supposed to think about the fact that we're not allowed to eat from that part of the animal, which is represented by the kaf. We're supposed to avoid living our lives to be alive based on a closed hand and an open mouth. We're supposed to avoid kaf. Instead, we're supposed to follow Yaakov's example and always have a closed mouth and an open hand. Let's use this as a wake-up call. Let's take this opportunity, let's think about this lesson, and let's make sure that really in all of our encounters with all the people around us, we have an open hand, we're kind, we're giving, we're supposed to help out everyone around us, and at the same time, we should be careful to keep our mouths shut to a certain extent. Of course, we're supposed to use our mouth, our tongues for Torah and mitzvos, but at the same time, we have to be careful with all the pitfalls that come from using our mouth too much. So let's follow Yaakov's example, the example that he said with us with pach.